The money is going to be put in your checking account. So you just got access to that money back right away within a day. Once you have access to that money, I say wait 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
Right? That's the cushion right there.
Yeah.
Call back and just say, hey,
Hey, what's going on, guys? Super excited to bring Mr. Econ Bulldog back to the YouTube channel. All right. Now, if you guys have not been watching his content, he has been blowing up. I'm talking taking things to millions of views because he's dropping so many gems. But either way, we don't have a lot of his time, and he's actually got something super special right before we get into the meat of this content. Well, listen, I know you want to go right into it, but you said you had something special for the audience today. So let's go ahead and kick that off first.
hey, what's up? First of all, Calvin, thank you so much, brother. Thank you for having me on the first time. And this
Yeah.
time it's just about giving your fans and audience a little bit more value. So I'll get right to it real quick. Hey guys, my name is Econ Bulldog. I just want to give you a quick 10 slides of where it starts, this whole credit thing. I know it's easy just to look at YouTube and look at gurus. I hate that word, but you want to definitely apply this just in your mindset before we go into the Navy Fed stuff. All right. And like I said, I promise just to give you a good ROI on this whole podcast with Calvin. So first things first, guys, creditmeetup.com is just a name that I got from GoDaddy because a lot of people, maybe they have a wrong connotation between mastermind credit or credit accelerator or something like that. So I just wanted to call something creditmeetup.com. And anytime there's a meetup on credit, I wanted to put it on there. Just wanted to shoot that to you guys. All right. So first things first. All right. Robert Kiyosaki. Most of you guys probably don't know. I was in the Marines. Once a Marine, always a Marine. I joined from 2001 to 2009. Went to Iraq twice. Missed my son's birth, who's now 18. He says this: in life, you lose or you learn. All right. And I feel like credit is a game.
That's
All
right.
right. And he talks about it. All right. You lose or you learn. All right. So if you think, hey, man, I took an L, it's all good. You turn that into a learning curve and you're good. If you take it as
Yep.
a loss and stay there, it's going to be a loss. So I wanted to share that. Now, growing up, I'm sure you guys got your favorite game, right? In the comments, you can put what your favorite game was growing up as a kid. I know my favorite game was Street Fighter 2. So I'm going to ask you guys real quick, who can remember the Street Fighter 2 cheat code?
Mm.
Who remembers the cheat code? You know what I mean? So the cheat code is up, up, down, down, left,
Yeah.
left, right, right, select start. Okay. Now we remember that as a kid because we enjoy playing that game.
Yeah.
I love this credit game. Calvin loves this credit game.
Yeah.
So we just want to give you guys more sauce. But if you're able to remember stuff like that, then you should be able to remember the 5 factors of credit, right? 35% payment history, all that stuff. That's the basics of credit. Okay. And also, this is me, 500s in credit, working security at USC. My house was almost foreclosed, and then my car was repossessed. I
Mm.
was literally just living check to check until credit opened up more of an opportunity for me. And I'm a risk taker, right?
Mm.
You give me a $20,000 card, guys, I'm able to invest it in something or invest in a mentorship or a course just so I can grow a little bit more. Some of you guys might not be as risk tolerant, but if you have credit, use it to make you more money. Don't
That's right.
use it to look like you have money. Okay, so that's just wanted a little snippet of that. Also, like I said, credit is a game, guys. But this is the most important before we get into the Navy Fed stuff. Research found between 25 to 29-year-old median, blacks have a 582 credit score. Hispanics got a 640, but
Mm-hmm.
27% of them have invisible credit.
Mm.
Invisible means they got no score.
Mm.
Literally, they can't get nothing on credit because they got no score. And then whites got 687. This is not taught in school.
That's right.
Why? Because they want to keep you as an employee. They don't want
Mm.
you to be an entrepreneur. They don't want you to be a business owner. So I put that credit starts at home. You
Mm.
guys are watching YouTube from home, watching me and Calvin.
Yep.
It all starts at home. If you educate yourself, likely your kids will be educated on credit if you share these tips with them. So I just wanted to start that real quick before diving into this Navy Fed stuff.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Credit most definitely starts at home. And you also mentioned that your daughter just came out with a book as well, too, because you've been teaching your kids about credit and such. So tell us a little bit more about that book.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Calvin.
Yeah.
So the book is called Melody's First Credit Card.
Mm.
Right here. She's 15 years old. The book right now generates between $20 and $30. But the best part about like the book is that Amazon prints it, Amazon ships it.
That's right.
Okay, so she just designed the story, the whole storyline and stuff like that. But what I'm teaching my daughter is we're producers. We want to
That's right.
produce
Yeah.
content, produce products. We don't want to be consumers because
Mm,
that's the difference between the wealthy and the average. Average
that's right.
people just consume and they don't take action and they don't produce. So I'm really excited about the book, guys. And what I wanted to do for your audience, Calvin, is anybody who gets the book on Amazon, Melody's First Credit Card, and you tag Latino Solutions, I will give you one ticket as a platinum member to my upcoming Navy Fed class, which we'll talk about at the end. But all you got to do to pretty much lock in your ticket is get my daughter's book, Melody's First Credit Card, and then tag Latino Solutions, LAWTINO Solutions, and I'll make sure we pick a winner to get them in that platinum status on the last Navy Federal class.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And just so you guys know, I'm going to put that link in the description below so you guys can get that and put yourselves in position and just starting the conversation off at a very early age. So we greatly appreciate that. And that's actually one of the things I want to talk to you about as we kind of go into it. There's one of your shorts that's been going crazy. And not only does it, I believe, start the conversation from parents to their young adults saying, hey, this is how credit works. I'm going to be adding you on as an authorized user. So, and in that short, you talked about that. Man, millions of people have been watching that short and taking notes and implementing what you said. And I can see that some people are already starting to see the results from that. So, if you wouldn't mind telling us, I know we're a little bit out of that order, but if we could jump into, you were saying that a lot of credit card companies are now allowing young adults to be as authorized users. If you would mind talking more about that.
Awesome, Calvin. So yeah, that one was the one that got the traction, and
Yeah.
I think right now it's over 2 million on Instagram, probably like
Crazy.
another 2 million on YouTube. So the
Yeah.
preface behind that, guys, and I say, add your child to the credit card, and I'm gonna be transparent with this.
Yeah.
If you add your child to your credit card, you as a parent, I feel like will be more responsible for it, knowing that your child is on the credit card and it's going to build history for them. So when they turn 18, right, if you added them when they were 14, they
Mhm.
should have 4 years of history.
Yeah.
So just with that history and your card, hopefully by then you have a high credit limit on the credit card. Hopefully you're
Yeah.
already tapped in when they be fed, right? When your daughter or son's 18, they already start off with a 750 credit score. Now, just to be transparent, like I wanted to show the audience, the same effect happens if you add them 6 months before their 18th birthday. So 6 months before their 18th birthday, they'll get the same effect. However, I just like to add my kids as an authorized user. As soon as I found out,
Yeah.
all my kids were added. My daughter, my
Wow.
son, and when my son turned 18, he got a 750,
Yeah.
as I said. And now he's got his own Amex preferred card. He's got a Discover. He's got a Navy Fed, and he's got a Chase.
Yeah.
Right. So definitely, I preach what I teach, and if
That's
it's
right.
good for my kids, it's good for everyone in my circle.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me add one thing, guys. One thing too that's really important. So there's specific ages where you can add the kid, and what I mean by that is Amex, you have to be 13 years old. All right. Discover, you have to be 15. Capital One lets you add them as little as long as they have a social, and then
Wow.
my favorite, Navy Federal, as long as they have a social, you can add them to the card.
Wow. Man, that's amazing. That's huge information. You know how many people don't know that? If you all did not know that, put that inside the comments. It's okay to say, I don't know something, because that's the thing. We don't know what we don't know, right? And it's not just not knowing something, it's learning that information and then applying that. So let us know inside the comments if you all are going to be taking advantage of that information and, of course, adding your young adults to your credit cards. All right. So now let's go to the next topic here, because man, a lot of people are they're still joining Navy Federal and they don't know how to truly maximize the pledge loan. And you've given a lot of different types of strategies for a lot of different type of incomes and things of that sort. And I still see people just doing it wrong. So what are you seeing lately that's working pretty good when people actually get the pledge loan with Navy Federal?
Got you. So what I'm seeing on my end, when you do a Navy Federal pledge loan, at the end of the month, they're getting an increase between 20 and 30 points.
Mm.
I've heard some videos where people say 50 to 100. Remember, me doing a $70,000 pledge loan, my points only increased by 30 points. So even with a $70,000 pledge loan. So I don't see how someone can increase 50 to 100 because you're adding an installment loan to your credit profile. And now, and then I'll walk you through the pledge loan just to make it easier. And I say, me and Calvin talk credit. It's easy for us, but we've done it multiple times, and we try to Barney style it. Like for you guys that in the Marines, we say Barney style. So pledge loan, it's also known as a secure loan. You're putting up your own money. A strategy that I use is if you're able to get a cash advance from another credit card at another institution, get that cash advance, 3 to 4 thousand. Open up Navy Federal if you have access to that. Put it in a savings, lock it up. Call Navy Federal and say, "Hey, I'd like to do a pledge loan. The money's already in my savings account. How much? Do it for 3,000. Can you do 2-year terms? Perfect. This how much your payments are going to be a month. Awesome. Make sure you do electronic disclosures. So everything's going to be through the app. So that way you don't have to wait till paperwork is sent to your house. So once you have that secure loan, you call Navy Fed. It's approved. Hey, you got the secure loan. The money is going to be put in your checking account. So you just got access to that money back right away within a day. Once you have access to that money, I say wait 3 to 4 days. Right. That's the cushion right there. Call back and just say, "Hey, I'd like to pay off my pledge loan, but can you just please leave a $20 balance and then have $1 on auto pay?" And then at the end of the month, you'll see your points go up 20, 30 points.
Wow. Man, that $1 auto pay is insane. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Mine's a 1 penny.
Wow.
Mine's 1 penny. And then when you do that, you won't have a payment for like a year and a half.
Wow. Yeah. Of course, along with all those on-time monthly payments that you're getting easily.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly.
That's
So just
absolutely amazing. Hope you listen. If you all like that information, let us know inside the comments. All right. Let us know inside the comments. So now you also talked about another piece as well, too. And it was a simple trick to boost your credit score just using your credit card. And I think, of course, a lot of people have credit cards, but they're not really maximizing, not just, of course, they know how to use the points, the rewards, but it's still one of the best ways to increase credit scores. What's some of the things that you've been testing out and a trick, if you will, with the credit cards that people can use to increase their credit scores?
okay. So just credit cards in general, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a good tip I would say, I'm pretty harsh on knowing as an adult, you should know your due date and statement date.
Mm,
And everyone on the internet talks about 30%. I'm
yeah.
a stickler for that. And
Yeah.
I want you to stay on that sweet spot between
Yeah.
2 to 9%. And then one thing to kind of consider is, how do you determine your overall balance? Is
Yeah.
literally balance divided by limit.
No limit. That's right.
Okay, balance divided by limit, that'll determine your credit utilization. And if you
Mm,
have it under 10%, you're good. But most people like me, when I didn't know credit, I would pay my credit card off.
yeah.
Okay, like on the due date, let's say it's June 5th.
Yeah.
Okay, June 5th, I would pay my credit card off. And what am I doing the next day?
Mm,
I'm using the card,
yeah.
which is a big no no. Okay.
Mm,
My statement date is usually 7 to 9 days after my due date. Okay. Don't quote me on that, but it's usually 7 to 9 days. You can check yours. It might be 3 days, might be 4 days. On the statement date, that is the day you want to have 10% paid off.
mm,
And then you'll maximize your score and you'll see an increase in your points because
wow.
credit fluctuates up and down,
Yeah.
but it's
Okay.
because people don't know their statement date.
Wow, that's huge. And you know what? You touched on something major is that a lot of people don't know. They just essentially get the credit card. They know when the bill is due sometimes, and they'll just put it on auto pay or they'll just pay it, manually. But I don't think a lot of people are looking those dates up. So make sure you all write that down. All right. Make sure you all write that down. And also to let us know in the comments if this is good information. All right. I know you guys want me to bring Econ Bulldog back. Of course, we was one of the first to start interviewing him. I saw his information. I said, man, people need to get this information. And now the world is finding out about you. So appreciate you being here, man.
I got an extra gem for your
Let's
people.
do it.
Is if you guys never heard about off cycle reporting,
Mm,
some credit cards will do that. And I'll give you an example. All
okay.
right. This is a mastermind exclusive stuff, but I'm going to share it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Discover, if you have a Discover It card, great card to have. Okay, let's say you have a $5,000 limit
Mm,
and your balance is 3,000. All right, let's say you came up on some money and you paid it off.
yeah.
Let's say your statement date is not until the 15th, but you paid it off on the 11th. You're going to call and Discover and say, hey, can you do me an off cycle reporting? I just paid my credit card off. And
Mm,
they'll update your credit report in 2 or 3 days. So
mm,
Discover does that. Citibank does that. Capital One does it. You just got to be really firm with them.
yeah.
Tell them like you're getting a house in the next 2 or 3 weeks and you want to have the right credit score. So they're able to do it. It's called off cycle reporting.
Off cycle reporting, man. Listen, this is some behind the scenes stuff now.
Gems, gems, gems.
That's right. That's right. No, I greatly appreciate that information, man. So now here's the thing. And this has been a credit card that you just talked about this credit card too. And I was like, man, we most definitely got to remind people about this. In your opinion, why is this credit card, in your opinion, the worst credit card to have? And obviously, what bank is that? What is that?
Oh man, you're talking about Credit One, man.
Yeah.
Credit One is one of those cards. So I'm only going to talk to you from my experience.
Yeah.
When I didn't know nothing about credit, I felt like the only way to get credit is just to get approved, right? 500, 700. Hey, they approved me. Yay. No, all wrong. Okay. Why you don't want to do that is because first, people don't know about Chase's 524 rule. So
Yeah.
I rather go with a card that I can get first because I don't want to get blocked out of their system
That's right.
from applying. So
Mm,
Credit One, it's one of those cards where, bro, I've never seen cash back. I think $1,
wow.
and like literally, it's one of those predatory cards that they know it's for people that don't know about credit, so they'll give it to you. And even the one that says Credit One, American Express,
Yeah.
stay away. If you listen to Calvin's channel and
Yep.
you're about to apply for it, please stay away from Credit One. Don't even go there. You're not going to get nothing. Personally, I've never
Mhm.
known someone to have more than a $1,500 limit. And that's
Yep.
real talk. I've heard people in my comments or DMs, hey, bro, I got a $3,000 card on Credit One. Well, bro, that's about as far as you're going to get.
That's real though. That is real. I think the most I've ever seen from one of the videos I did a while back, and someone had mentioned that the limit they had was like 2,500. Listen, you're not going to get more than that. And to add on to that, just in case you all don't know this, we talked about this on one of my lives, is that Credit One charges a non-usage fee. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
means if you all don't use the credit card, they're going to charge you a non-usage fee. And speaking of fees, they charge fees for everything. So you got a non-usage fee. You have an annual fee. And there's nothing necessarily wrong specifically with an annual fee because some credit cards do have annual fees, but it needs to be worth having an annual fee. There are plenty of other credit cards that are better or similar to Credit One credit card, and they don't have an annual fee. So that's two things. If you want to add an authorized user, that's going to be a fee, right? And then if you want to accept, because they always say, hey, we want to give you a credit limit increase. Most banks, they'll say, hey, here's $500, here's $1,000, here's 1,500, whatever that credit limit increase is, and you don't have to pay for it. But what Credit One Bank does, they give you a small credit limit increase, and then they say, hey, we're going to charge you a fee in order for you to take this credit limit increase. And it's usually like 250, 150, not the fee, but just the credit limit increase amount. And they do that so they can keep making money off of you as they slowly increase your credit limit. And just, of course, something I fully agree with Econ Bulldog on this as well. So, of course, before we get out of here, was there anything that you wanted to leave people with, in another gem or any information
Yeah,
in general before we got out of here?
for sure. For sure. Thank you, Calvin. I think a big gem is if you're starting off your credit journey and you have no score or
Yeah.
just start like you have no credit cards, I would suggest go directly into Chase.
Mm.
Okay, open up an account, a deposit $250 in person, guys, in person. They're gonna give you a $300 sign-in bonus just to sign up with Chase. If you put like $500 deposits within 90 days, I believe. So that's
Yeah.
a free 300 after you put your 250.
Mm.
And there's gonna be an app that pops up. You're gonna apply for the Chase Rise card. Chase
Mm.
Rise card. That one's gonna give you $500 to 1,000 right off the rip. If you have the 250 in your checking, more than likely 95% chance you are gonna get that card. Now, this is for building credit. If you have negative items and stuff like that, this car is not for you. But that's a big gem, guys, that you can do. Like I said, everything I teach or say,
That's
I
right.
do it with my kids, so
That's
they're
right.
on the same track. So my son does have the Rise card, and same thing I just telling you guys, he did, and he got approved for it.
That's right. Wow. Man. And you know what? That's what I like about you is that, the information that you're giving people is not just something that you heard. Well, it's something that you have actively done and you've tested out different strategies over time to get the best result. Because at the end of the day, everyone's looking for a common goal or a similar goal. And they're saying, okay, how can I get there faster? And I'm willing to get the information. I'm willing to go ahead and do that. And that's, of course, what Econ Bulldog has done for you all is gotten the information. He's tested the information out on himself, on his family, and said, hey, this is what works and this is what doesn't work. Well, listen, we most definitely got to have you back on the channel as you keep learning stuff and be one of the first that you get that information out to as well. So we thank you and appreciate you for essentially stopping by the channel and dropping those gems today.
Hey, just want to share with you guys. Hey, let's get Calvin 100K. You know how much work he put in for you guys? Let's get him to 100K. Hopefully, this video right here gets him to 100K. I'll be the first to give him his flowers.
That's
Hey,
right.
100K is a big deal. Congrats, Calvin. Keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing, brother. And I'm rooting for you, brother.
Yeah, same here, man. I greatly appreciate it. And here's another thing too. When I found Econ Bulldog, I can't remember the exact number, but he was under 10,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this information is great. And I think that's the thing with YouTube, and not just YouTube, but social media in general, is that there's a lot of people like Econ and myself that know this information. And of course, it just takes time for people to find that information as well. But saying that to say, now he's at over 87,000 subscribers. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out his channel. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to him as well, as we are both on the run. But this man just did like a 70, 80,000 subscriber jump. But either way, at the end of the day, we want to make sure you guys get the information. All right. So thanks again. We greatly appreciate you, sir.
Have a good one, Calvin. Thank you very much. And shout out to you guys.